Hello and welcome to July 2025 monthly wrap-up. I'm Peter Schneider. I'm here in New York with Nick Huston. Hi, Nick.
Howdy, howdy.
And in hot Atlanta, we got TK Edmondson. Hey, TK.
It is hot. Hello, though.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not just saying that as a cliche of Atlanta. It is genuinely hot in Atlanta.
It's also genuinely hot
in New York.
Here. Yeah. But there's no euphemism for hot York.
It smells worse here.
Oh, my goodness. There's nothing quite like July in New York City on garbage day.
Yes.
It is, doth offend the nostrils.
Yes, it doth do.
It's only happened a few times that I know of where Lectrosonics has had an actual sale, but they're having a big bundle deal where you can save almost $2,500 depending on what you buy. So if you buy a D2 system, with a 4-channel receiver and 4 transmitters, so that's the D squared or the DSR4, your 4th transmitter of equal or lesser value is free. So if you were to buy that receiver and 4, let's say, DSSMs, which are $2,450 a pop, you would get the 4th transmitter for free. So you'd save $2,400. They're also having a deal where if you buy a receiver with 2 channels of transmitters, that you get the 2nd transmitter half off. So if you were to buy a DSR, a DCR-822, and 2 DSSMs or any combination of transmitters, you get the 2nd transmitter at 50% off. So if you're looking to get into electro digital, specifically the D2, it's a really good time to make the jump. It sounds really good. We were talking about companders with somebody yesterday, and it is, it's noticeable. The digital difference is noticeable.
No compander.
No compander. None
And
at all.
is this a forever sale?
Good question. This goes until the end of August. So if you're watching this, presumably when the video is released, you've got this month to get in on it. So we've got some pre-made kits you can check out, but you can always contact us for custom kits if you want to mix and match transmitters, change around lavs or whatever. But it's if you're looking to upgrade, it's a good time to do so.
One thing I want to add is there's been a lot of firmware updates.
Yes.
1 or 2, to my understanding, hardware updates along the way. So if you have evaluated these systems early on in their initial release, you may have a different opinion if you reevaluate them now that they've been through these updates.
Yeah.
Speaking of wireless microphones, Zaxcom have officially announced and released their ZMT5HH handheld transmitter.
Yeah.
And this is a very, very cool transmitter. It's, like we said, it's a handheld transmitter. Takes lots of different capsules, all the standard mounted, wireless capsules.
The Shure capsules,
Yep.
Shure protocol.
And anything that follows that standard. But it's also got XLR mail at the base of it.
Yes.
So can, at a moment's notice, go hardwired, which is interesting. Still, needs to be powered and everything.
Right. Do not phantom power it. It will not be phantom powered. It needs the cigarette, battery.
Do we know if it can tolerate phantom power if you do it accidentally?
That I don't know. I wouldn't want to find out.
No.
Yeah.
Fair warning.
Agreed.
If you are, let's say, covering sound at one of these FIFA events where they have banned all wireless microphones except for the rights holder, this is a great option because you can stand outside the venue, be wireless, and then as soon as you need to go inside, just same microphone, same mic flag, plug a hardwired in.
And we did a video with Glenn here. He sat right where you were sitting.
Yes.
And I sat right where I was sitting. So if you want to jump over to that video and jump back.
Let's do it like the kids.
What, Glenn? You look so different.
Hey, Nick, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Boom. But yeah, it rounds out their line. The ZMT HH has been missing for a while. They had a ZMT3 HH. And this one's been redone. Glenn goes and does a deep dive into the features of it, but nice to have all those transmitters available.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it uses rechargeable batteries, we should say, commonly available on Amazon and vape stores if you so choose. I hear that Hawkwoods is entering into that specific space, which could be interesting. Stay tuned for that in a monthly wrap-up. And the frequency range starts at 470, which is a new sort of start for Zaxcom.
Yeah, I think that's a preview of things to come with their next generation receivers. In this video, I believe Glenn has talked about direct conversion wireless for a little while, specifically with the VRXs. So, stay tuned for things of that nature from Zaxcom. Our friends in New Jersey.
Yes.
Also, our friends from Wisycom have released the 83 antenna. This is going to be a new improvement from their previous version, the 82. This is wideband UHF. It's omnidirectional. Comes with 3.2 dBi of gain, so you can run your antenna BNC cables probably around 15 feet, and you won't have any signal loss. This is also going to have an IP67 rated protection against dust and water, so nice to hold up against the elements. And this is the gain, or excuse me, the frequency is going to go all the way up to 1260 megahertz. So you've got the whole band to basically play with on this thing. So yeah, if you want to get a new antenna or you upgrade a previous one, check these out from Wisycom. These are great. I love the stuff from Wisycom.
Yeah, it's an upgrade, but it's going to be exactly the same price as the older antenna. So you get more for the same price.
And shipping now or shipping soon?
Soon.
Okay.
We're
in a
heading
few
into
weeks.
August. One interesting thing about August that we don't really think about here in the U.S. is that a lot of our European vendors take a holiday.
What an idea.
What an idea.
What an idea.
What an idea. Yeah,
Is this
exactly.
summer? Is it an actual summer?
I mean, I don't really want to be outside when it's this hot. But yeah, so, I'm not quite sure of Wisycom's opening schedule or shipping schedule, but I know that, VDB is going to be taking a few weeks off, and some of our other friends in Europe. So, be wary of that. Beware of the vacations. Shure has released a new wireless Workbench mobile. So now you can run wireless Workbench on iOS and Android. There are some features that are only available on iOS. You can do wireless system monitoring, frequency coordination if you've got iOS, and guided alerts in a mobile workflow, so you can get it for your cell phone or your iPad or however. You will need to be able to tap into a network that is connected to your Shure devices, so hotspot or something like
Do
that.
like an access point or have a Wi-Fi signal as part of your router. Something
Exactly.
Like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just a big blank screen with actually to connect.
Yeah. But imagine, being able to remote in from anywhere. Let's say you were installed in a studio and somebody needs you to adjust something. I don't know, from anywhere on a cell phone through a VPN or however.
Well, yeah, I know.
You'd have to set that up.
Depending on if it's layer 2 or layer 3, there might be some trickery you'd have to do. But yeah, so we don't want to say it works out of the box.
Oh
over
no.
the internet.
That would require some interconnectivity.
I could see a cloud workflow. As Shure
But yeah.
says, they're always developing things.
Mhm.
And I think that's the exciting part. There's possibilities open to making this, easier to control from a more mobile standpoint.
Yeah, I was thinking about some of our PepWave solutions, that could connect it to the cloud or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, the PepWave stuff is really cool when the vendors on the software side allow you to add devices by IP. If they're relying on like multicast, sort of like finding who's on the network, is there a Shure device on the network kind of multicast, a lot of the VPN doesn't operate at that. They block those multicast packets.
That's an interesting thing.
So yeah, like some Shure software, most Shure software that I'm aware of on the computer side allows you to add things manually by IP. Like Workbench definitely does, and their Shure Designer does. So yeah, I mean, it's a shout out to the manufacturers to like, hey, give us that option so we can cross subnets. Is I think the nerdy term for what we're trying to talk about. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm all for it, and I'm also, I'm all for the option of a cloud. Like a lot of the manufacturers on the video side automatically will, or with an option, talk to a cloud so you can do what you described. Your device from anywhere in the world talks to the cloud. Their device, the customer device talks to the cloud. But yeah. One workflow I can think of with wireless Workbench Mobile, for example, is we at Gotham have lots of experience with dongles. And so you can have like a tablet with an Ethernet dongle. And like if you're an A2 or a monitor engineer and you want to monitor the wireless, it could just be part of a hardwired network and you don't have to make it part of Wi-Fi. Like that's something to keep in mind, is that at the device level, it doesn't care whether its network is Wi-Fi or Ethernet, typically.
Cool.
Anyways, now that we're way off topic,
Speaking
of network,
yeah, exactly.
RF Venue has a new 4-zone version of their product that is network able.
Right. So the RFNU 4-zone network.
Right. It's a multi-zone antenna combiner with LAN capability, and it's got a web GUI, which opens up all kinds of possibilities. Typically, if you're just going to a website you can cross subnets, so you can definitely do VPN stuff, which is a great tool for integrators that want to remotely monitor something and check in. It's great for multi-zone commercial work.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you've used this product.
I've used this, not the LAN version, but a long time ago, we was doing something that needed multiple zones and wanted to mess with this, and it works well. I found the menu system on board to be tricky for my slow brain. So the idea of having a GUI that you can control from a website makes it much more appealing. But electronically sound, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
So paired with let's say some wireless that has to be stashed in a closet, and you want to remote control and turn on and off zones, perhaps that you're routing to different places with Dante. This would be pretty darn good.
And I think that dovetails with my general request for all manufacturers that are adding network capable stuff is an API. So let's say, for example, somebody wants to use a Stream Deck to punch zones on and off. They can DIY that. So, yeah.
All right, we have an update from AudioNet in the form of Dante Controller. This is going to be version 4.16. It's a good number. This has improved accessibilities with the ability now to swap your matrix axis. So you can basically invert things, and depending on how you have your sources and your inputs, essentially. They also have adjustable info sizes, so people who want things that are larger or smaller, you have that option. And then you can copy and paste your data. So for those people who love the shortcut warriors, Control V, Control C, now an option. There's also a traffic port update. So basically gives you easier security settings. But all this is available now, so check it out if you're using Dante Controller. Get your update and these new features with that.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's a whole connectivity section we just finished.
Yeah, in terms of all the networking, you could be using this stuff to connect that 4-zone box from RFNU. So, boom.
All right, so Austrian Audio is now available through Gotham Sound. So Austrian Audio was purchased by DPA, and we love our DPA, so now we love our Austrian. So this has some really great headphones and microphones, typically for studio use, but they have a large range of products. So some really high end in the thousands of dollars, and some specific tools for in the hundreds of dollar ranges. So they're special order for us. We mostly concentrate on location sound stuff, and people are not using them in location sound yet. But we invite our customers to check out their stuff. Let us know what's interesting to you so we can check that out. And, we're happy to get it for you. And TK, you found out something really interesting about Austrian Audio, I believe.
Yeah.
Share with the class.
I've heard of them through some of my studio ventures, but they basically have kind of dedicated their company. They spawned from the lack of the AKG company being in Vienna. So they wanted to kind of continue that history and have something available for people and higher end customers who want those products, and spawned Austrian Audio as a result. So I kind of love that in the sense of just making sure that we know the history and that we have something available if we want to try to touch and reconnect with that. So hat tip to Austrian Audio for such a thing.
Yeah, and I think if you were to look at some of the mics, that they are reminiscent of, let's say the 414B.
Yeah. Yep.
Pliant has a new trade-in deal. You can trade in virtually any professional intercom, wired or wireless, for credit towards the purchase of a new Crewcom or CB2 system. Contact us for details, because we got to work it out.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. I'm sure we just got this yesterday, so we haven't been able to go through everything to have the minutia, but I'm sure it varies based on what you're trading in.
Here's the thing about Crewcom that I think for people that are thinking about comms, that do comms, it works in the 900 meg spectrum, which as 1.9 decked, especially in the US, and 2.4 and 5.8 get saturated with all of the devices that can happen on any shoot or event. 900 can be a very attractive place to have comms. If there's like a team that you need to get wireless comms to, or just the entire crew. Pliant makes a great product, super flexible. I have not dug into it recently, but something that's kind of huge that sets it apart from other systems that I've used. You can do offline configuration. Meaning you don't actually have to have the box in front of you, which is a surprising thing that still happens in 2025. But yeah, surprising that it's surprising. But anyways, definitely worth checking out. And if you are thinking of upgrading, let us know. We'll be happy to walk you through the upgrade steps.
And there's not much in 900. I mean, I think.
Well, I was gonna say, that's the thing about like there's a bunch of users, I think, that say that, and then all of a sudden you get a bunch of stuff in 900 meg. But yes, it is definitely less. It can be less crowded and can be an overlooked chunk of spectrum.
I know the Betso wireless time code is in there.
There's Betso. I've heard funny stories, or I guess they weren't funny at the time, from RF coordinators that where they show up to a concert and some of those LED wrists that light up. You know what I'm talking about? Those are triggered in 900 megahertz, which can not be so friendly.
Is that a 940? Because I think this is probably lower.
No. So it's a great question. What we're talking, when I say 900 in this context, I mean 900 ISM band, 902 to 928.
Like the old wireless telephones.
Yeah, I mean now it's gas meters and like other industrial devices are communicating in that band as well. So yeah. But anyways. For entertainment stuff, there is a available spectrum for this kind of device.
Cool.
Oh, and then DMX. There's wireless lighting control in that. That's typically you'll find on a set.
X gonna give it to you.
Oh yeah. I've been on set with that happening before. So +1.
Yeah.
Speaking of X giving it to you, Powerex has given us a refresh on their Pro AA batteries. So this is going to be their second gen. That's a refresh. They're 2700 milliamps, rechargeable AA nickel metal hydrate batteries. So it's going to upgrade on the temperature tolerances, which is incredibly important. You don't want these things to get hot on your equipment and then heat up on an actor. Not great. So that also works in your favor in terms of long-term storage. So 2 great benefits there for you. These are available now. $14 for a 4-pack, or you can do $23 for an 8-pack. Reach out to us. We'll get you some rechargeables for your needs. And I think this really actually has a broader discussion between the lithium use and rechargeables and the distance kind of from where you get with
primary versus rechargeable, I guess.
Yeah. So we during the rehearsal, and I will tell you that my 14-year-old son was shocked that we rehearsed these. He was just like, "Why are you rehearsing?" We want to make sure we're not complete dummies when we talk about this stuff. But during rehearsal, we talked about the milliamp hours and what the actual the amount of time that these will last.
Right.
And basically, we said there's no replacement in terms of longevity per battery for a disposable lithium AA. That you're going to get, let's say, 6 hours in an SM transmitter at 100 milliwatts from an Energizer lithium, where you're going to get maybe 2.5 from something like this, and that's across the board from any rechargeable battery. Like, we've got different chemistries.
So this Powerex Pro is nickel metal hydride. Have we investigated lithium rechargeables?
Yes, there are a ton of different rechargeable batteries, right? There's nickel metal hydride, there's lithium polymer, which we carry from iPower, and then I believe it was there was a cadmium lithium
Yeah,
thing that I tried and I was very excited about, and honestly the duration of that battery, which was a very expensive battery, was the same. Was literally the same as the nickel metal hydride and the lithium polymer. It was only a couple of hours.
It's tough to talk about this without talking about the chemistry and the physics behind the chemistry,
Yep.
meaning discharge time in a lot of these rechargeables can vary with the current that you're drawing from.
Right.
One thing I would say about primary batteries, and especially like when we look at the data sheet for the Energizer Lithium AA, for example, it's very consistent. It's a very linear discharge, regardless of the current that you're drawing. Whereas on this rechargeable, typically, like the more current you try and draw, the lower the voltage gets over a shorter amount of time.
Yep.
And so I think that in some cases, I know we all want to be greener,
Yep.
but you really have to think about your use case scenario. I always thought about it in terms of lunch. Like
can I make it to lunch?
Yeah, and then with a charge, some people think about it. Can I go 14 hours?
Right.
I think you got to sort of dial in, what you're willing to tolerate.
Right. It's different when you're doing Docker Reality versus when you're doing features. I know I worked with a mixer on features that was diligent about putting their transmitters to sleep and would get all day on a single AA alkaline because just anytime the actors were offset, snooze, sleep, and they'd come back and snooze, sleep,
Right.
and they spent very little on batteries. Where that kind of workflow, if you're diligent about that, can work. But if you need to be up all the time, then for Reality, which is a lot of what I did, I was doing lithium batteries all day and changing at lunch.
Raw capacity, yeah.
Yeah, raw capacity, unless I was doing a double battery or something like that. I will say that the purpose-built lithium rechargeables, like with Shure's ADX systems, Wisycom's batteries that they're using, those last significantly longer. And I'm assuming, that it's because they're building or they're taking advantage of a battery that's been built to last, and that trying to squeeze that rechargeable chemistry into a AA, an ancient standard.
Right, and you're limited in that volume, whereas they can take up the whole, sort of battery compartment volume.
Right.
And you're in charge of the charging ecosystem.
Yeah.
TK, I assume most of our Atlanta customers know this, but our Atlanta shop is next to IKEA.
Yes.
Where I was going with this was, and I fully realize that we are in the business of selling product, but IKEA does make one hell of a AA rechargeable.
Yeah, no,
They do.
Glenn from Zaxcom is always saying like that's his gold standard.
Yeah. The Lada, for those who are unaware, I believe they are rated 2,500 milliamps and widely available. Typically at the exit, so walk in through the exit of IKEA, get your Lada batteries, and
It's
go
a good
home.
tip, yeah.
There was a lot of research done from mixers in the community talking about rechargeable batteries and lithium batteries, and trying to test them, put it in like a standard of hour marks or duration of power kind of thing. I believe that's when they figured out Antelope and a lot of batteries were made in the same factory. So
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
there's a whole like curtain.
Right,
thing
there's
going
like,
on here.
yeah, Antelope OEMs for IKEA. I remember that. Wow, that's some ancient history at this point.
What I always
Yes.
tell people about these batteries is that they're all very similar. We carry the brands we carry because we like the vendors that we carry. We're not saying they're better than any or than some or another, and you should pick the batteries that you like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, TK. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Jared. And we will see. I wonder what people think when I point up at Jared.
Thank you, Jared.
I live in your air vent.
We really love your ideas and suggestions. info@gothamsound.com, or just put them in the comments. Like, subscribe. All of that stuff is really great, and we really do keep an eye on it. And we were thinking of modifying this little throuple that we have going here. If you would like to be a guest host, or if you would like to make any kind of submission for our monthly wrap-up, please let us know. info@gothamsound.com, and we will reply. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Goodbye.
Deuces. Wait, deuces. TK,
Wait,
how do you do that? What's the appropriate way to do deuces?
you flip your head inside out.
Heck yeah.
Head slightly
Okay.
nodded.
But usually deuces is dismissive. It's like deuces.
That's why the head nod makes it friendly. You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're just saying bye. Just
Oh
they're
no!
awkward.
See,
Let 'em roll.
I did 6 seasons of Love and Hip Hop, and it was always like deuces.
Oh.
Beep.
Then you got to throw it to the side.
Oh, like that. That's it. You're right. That's it.
Jared is in the cloud, not in a theological sense. And in Hotlanta, we have TK Edmondson. Hey, TK.
Hey, from the A, how's it going?
That was awesome. Do that again.
Hey, from the A.
That's a thing.
Oh yeah, you got to put the thumb in the betwing.
Did I do
But-
it?
Hey.
It's
Hey,
awesome.
Just put that thumb in there and you're good.
That's cool. I've never seen that. I'm sure it's a thing, but I now feel like my mind has been blown.
Ultimate power.